like to welcome everyone here to the Rocky Horror Picture Show here at the 8th Street Playhouse. And all of our regulars would like to wish a warm welcome to all you virgins.
This year I turned 56 just a couple of weeks ago, and one thing I've always said that back in the 80s was a good time for me, and there was a lot to do back in the 1980s. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Had my high school years and I'll call my college years, but it's my trade school years. On there, working in public access television, going out, had a lot of fun. One of the big things out there was I used to spend my Fridays and Saturdays at a movie theater watching one of the most iconic movies of all time, and that's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it was a lot of fun. Everybody had a great time. It was a great show to be there because sometimes things changed a little bit. The movie was still the same, but what went on around it sometimes changed. But it was always a fun place to be. Well, just recently we've lost the one person that was the ultimate fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, sort of the face of the show itself that kept it going for many, many years. But before we start, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. We are well over 630 subscribers. We're trying to hit 700 before the end of February. Once again, thank you very much. We also have new t-shirt designs coming very soon. Some of them are already up online right now. You can check it at shopcuticast.com. Sal Piro. If you don't know who Sal Piro is the ultimate fan guy who was just literally the face of the Rocky Horror Picture Show in the New York theater districts. Now, the thing about it, when I say districts, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the real true show, basically moved around as theaters came and gone. But this past week, we got some bad news that Sal Piro passed away at age 71. And I'll tell you, it goes back. I met Sal in the 80s. A real nice guy. Really, really nice guy. He was top of the heap when it came to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. When it came down, when he was there, it was going to be a great show every time. And even though throughout the country you had different versions in different theaters, nothing compares to Sal Piro's version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And we're going to read a little bit into this out of Deadline. Sal Piro dies. The original Rocky Horror role-playing superfan and subject of the upcoming movie was 71. Sal Piro, who played a pivotal role in creating the audience participation routines that turned Rocky Horror Picture Show into a multi-decade worldwide phenomenon, died at his home in New York on January 21st. His death was announced by the Rocky Horror Picture Show fan club, which he founded in 1977 and served as its president until his death, becoming a major figure in creating the movie's cult classic status. Sal was the de facto face of the Rocky Horror fandom for decades. The fan club said in a tweet statement, "He'll be sorely missed." Opening to terrible reviews in 1975, the Rocky Horror Picture Show soon became a staple of the midnight movie screenings at New York City's Waverly Theater in Greenwich Village, used to be called the 8th Street Playhouse as well. Surprisingly, the film quickly drew the devotions of young fans, including Piro, who shouted out humorous responses to much of the film's dialogue. As the responses became more elaborate in into a sort of viewing ritual. Piro helped shape a floor show of audience members playing out the movie beneath the scene. We all lived for Friday and Saturday nights, Piro wrote in his 1990 memoir, Creatures of the Night. We met at 8 p.m. to make sure that we would be first in line and so get our regular seats. The atmosphere outside the theater was as electric as it was inside. We sang songs, we time warped, we traded questions. All of us shared the devotion to the film as we gathered outside in eager anticipation of midnight. Piro's memoir in the early stages of development for the screen adaptation with producers Adam Schroeder, Lou Adler, Jill Mazurki. Writing the screenplay based on Piro's is Mark Lothran. The movie expected to be set around 1976 with the focus on Piro and his friend Dory Hartley, who is credited to being the first person to dress up in costume. She role-played Frankenfurter. I was a former cemeterian who spent 3 years teaching theology and directing school plays in Catholic high school in New Jersey. Piro, who had a small role in the 1981 Rocky Horror sequel Shock Treatment and played himself in the 1980 movie Fame, who wrote Creatures in the Night. I was laid off from my teaching job in June of 1976 and spent that summer being a drama director in an all-girls camp in the Berkshire Mountains. When I returned, I decided I would move to New York City and try my hand as a starving actor. I took a job waiting tables and got some roles in off-Broadway shows, and then I went to see Rocky Horror. It was a cold, snowy night when 4 friends and I found ourselves outside the Waverly waiting for over an hour before we were allowed to see the show. One of these friends was Mark Shaman, who went on to become the music director for Bette Midler, Billy Crystal, and other stars. He sat next to me for the next 75 times I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Both of us contributed ad-lib lines that became the part of the whole spectacular happening. In a tribute posted on Instagram, the Hairspray and Some Like It Hot musical composer Shaman wrote, "We didn't know what we were giving birth to. We were just having a great time, being creative in the most freeing way, writing the perfect lines to go in between the film's dialogue, creating props, just having fun. It was a total joy fest." Over the next year or so, he continued, I went probably to 70 or more showings of the show, but for Sal, it ended up being his life, work, and passion. He became the president of the fan club and spent the next 40 plus years or so being the guru of the Rocky Horror to millions of fans. And that's what it was. I once hit the Waverly back when, right before it moved out of the 8th Street area, but it founded a new home because the area was changing a lot in that section of the village. It ended up on, I believe it was 52nd and 3rd Avenue for quite some time. And that's where I was going. And I was there pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. And, I would do productions on Friday night. And as soon as production was over, me and some of our crew would hit over for drinks and get to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I'll tell you, it was a really fun time. Sal made sure everyone had a great time. And in the last couple of years, things have changed. The last place, and it's currently was currently there for quite some time, was the Village East by Angelica. And then I believe there were issues surrounding the changes over by Fox, which basically is now owned by Disney. A couple of issues here and there. But basically it did find a new home. And with COVID, that they couldn't do much on them. Now, recently, by the time you hear this, it will be starting up again on the first Saturday in February. It'll be returning to the Village East by Angelica on there. So if you're in New York, basically it will be 2 showings in February, same as March, April, and May. It'll be 10 p.m. if you're in New York, and if you go to Village East, happens to be a great theater to go to. It's one of the independent theaters. It's part of the Angelica Theaters. So if you're in New York, do check it out. But if you're not, check on the internet. It should be playing anywhere. I know it's playing in Jersey. I know it's playing in LA, Texas, Florida. You can find it throughout the country somewhere. And some of them are pretty good out there. I mean, the New York one always has been the top notch. It's been the, as they say, the top shelf whiskey or, liqueur that's been sitting up there for many years. It is replicated throughout the country, but Sal made it what it is to this day. He will be missed. Rest in peace, Sal Piro. Maybe you bringing that show up to the man upstairs. Taking in the time warp, as they say. And like I said, he'll be missed. It's this is the part of the things. Like I said, I love the '80s, and being 56 now. The things that I miss. I miss doing that. I miss going out and, doing stuff like that. So, like I said, if you get a chance, take it in. You'll enjoy yourself every time. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share.